I was close to completing work on
A
the
year
rockets
and a
before
half
we were
for
driven
this
into
game
hiding
is
on
just
the top
crazy.
floor. 2 components were missing.
They did a hell of a
Quantity
job
isotope
putting this game
239
together in a
igniting
year and a
agent,
half,
and
but
a set of
still.
thrust control modules. The igniting agent is highly radioactive and decays quickly. That's why we can't use the drums that leak down on the launch pad. It's no longer potent enough. I need you to find an intact, shielded container.
And yeah, we were
of the
talking
igniting
earlier
agent.
also about the strip.
As for the thrust control modules,
The strip was originally
they were
supposed to be
custom-built
so
for these rockets.
much
They
more,
won't even launch without them.
and it really sucks that
Very
they couldn't
well.
have made
We
it
don't
happen.
Need a huge amount. 2 to 3
feel
liters
like
should be enough.
a part of that was probably just limitations on, I don't know, maybe space.
Bye.
The idea of it being like this partitioned part of the map. The game is already so big.
The thing that was crazy to me, though, was we booted this up for the first time, right? And I looked at it. I pulled up the world map. How do I zoom this shit out? Here we go. And I'm like, wow, this is actually really small when you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really small, or Vegas itself is actually pretty big.
It is small.
But it's enough.
It's a lot of like Disney landing your way through it, where first off, the game has a lot of desert, which makes just physically traversing some of it really feel like it's a lot longer than it is.
Especially
but also
since you're just hoofing it the whole way.
Yeah. It's a lot of things, right? It's the speed at which you move. It's the having to kind of turn back and forth between roads and mountains and stuff. And then whenever you're not doing that, it's just flat desert. It's the diversity in biomes, because there definitely is some diversity, enough to make it really feel like it's a big thing when you finally come across it. But like sheer landmass, it's not huge. It's just a lot.
I wouldn't even call it big.
It's just a lot of game.
It's an inch wide and a mile deep.
I don't know about an inch wide.
I don't know about a mile deep either.
No, it's like a really deep kiddie pool.
Which, it's
That's
funny.
not fair.
It's funny that you mentioned that. That's how I was keen to describe Clancy's personality earlier when we were doing that whole bit.
Yeah.
That was a long bit.
It was originally going to go a lot longer, and then I realized that I started to feel uncomfortable with some of the answers that were being given, because like as I was reading it, I was getting this window into the person that wrote the whole quiz angle, and I was like, I just feel bad for this probably 13-year-old girl.
It did escalate quite quickly.
The answer you got was a frowny face. Oh no. The last, what was that class? Oh, I had like a student development course or something that was mandated for us all to take. And, one of the things that they made us do was take like a personality quiz, and then like base the entire curriculum around what we got, and we had to keep referring back to the answers that we got. And you know me, and the way that I write these kinds of things, I ended up writing my first thing as like kind of a taken aback insult at how they basically forced us to do a Facebook personality quiz to figure out who we are and what we wanted to do with our lives, instead of like actually giving us useful information in any way. And then every time that they were like, hey, refer back to this test that you took to tell us what you've learned about the college experience, every time that I would write back, I was like, dude, I've been in college for like, this is my 3rd year, and the only reason that I took this class now was because you forced me to, and I wanted to get the classes I actually cared about out of the way first. And I don't remember what any of my answers were, because as soon as I was done with it, I closed the thing and never opened it again. You know what? I ended up getting an A on that.
Good job. Proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I've said it time and time again. I love to learn. I really dislike school. Like, organized education sucks.
You'll find no disagreement from me on that one.
Maybe if, like, I don't know. I've never gone to, like, a prep school or anything like that, right? Maybe if, I don't know. Maybe if I went to, like, a really nice privatized college or something.
Then you would probably hate it even more once you realize what it stood for.
Probably, yeah. I mean, that's the kind of scenario that, the kind of environment that I would definitely not strive in. I would be, you know what? It would be Will Smith in The Fresh Prince turning his blazer inside out to break dress code. Everybody should go watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's a great show. I have 3 box sets of it right here, right next to me. Right in between Kill Bill Volume 2 and Spider-Man 2. Great movies. Chapter 2.
Spider-Man 2, Volume 2. The Spider Ring.
Spider-Man the Second. Spider? Question mark. Man. Period. Yeah, no head. Just dead. I'm gonna try something here.
Yeah?
Stick with me for a second. Okay. I should probably change the music that we're listening to. At least on my side. Do you have an... Ooh, this could be cool. Oh, no, this is way cooler. I'm going to listen to this instead. Okay. So what have you been up to lately, besides Fallout?
Final Fantasy XIV, like exclusively.
You told me you got to Shadowbringers, right?
I finished Shadowbringers. It was excellent. I think you would like it a whole lot.
Very cool. I really wanted to get to Shadowbringers. I left off pretty much at the very beginning of Heaven's Word is when my subscription lapsed. I would love to go back to that.
I loved Heaven's Ward, and I think that Shadowbringers is the best expansion. And I think that you, in particular, would like both of those a lot.
I definitely wanted to get to the Nier stuff, because I heard nothing but good things about Shadowbringers. But it was still like 20 levels above me, or whatever it was. But yeah, if they have another Like they had a period that was like, hey, it's free for 8 days or whatever to log in and do your stuff. If they do another one of those, I'll probably log in and check it out. I wonder if I even still have it. I think I might have never uninstalled it on this computer. Let me see.
I know I never did, but you might have reinstalled your operating system during that time.
That is possible. That happens a lot. No, doesn't look like it's up here.
Damn.
Also, we were talking earlier about me having to basically start over with some couple hours of progress in Fable, the first one.
Yeah.
I decided not to do that, and instead to just stop, because I remember where that game goes from that point to the end. The thing that I kind of forgot about Fable is that it totally has boss fights. Like, I remembered the trader escort through the woods and having to fight the troll, but I didn't remember the giant thing you have to fight like 3 levels later that's its own boss. Like its own named boss. I didn't remember that at all. And it's weird because I remembered the level in which it took place, but I didn't remember that part of it. And the Lost Chapters still has that endgame stuff, the playable epilogue, that I have just never seen.
That sounds promising.
Yeah, I'm really interested to get to it. And I decided that we should probably just save that for when we actually play through it. There was another thing I saw earlier today on I saw the Future Game Show. They had a game here that I was looking at that was called Deathground. And did you see this at all?
No, but the name sounds cool.
Deathground is, I'm going to just read you the text blurb, a solo and co-op survival horror game that throws players into a desperate battle for survival against deadly AI dinosaurs.
You had me until you said dinosaurs.
See, I feel like that's either the make or break for you, right? Because it is totally like showing the thing that they show is a lot of running around in warehouses and jungles with a flashlight, and it's very Jurassic Park 1.
I feel like the only kid in the world who didn't give a shit about dinosaurs growing up.
See, it's weird because I didn't really care about dinosaurs growing up, but now that I know dinosaurs are kind of fake, I like them a little bit more as, like, not fake, but like the dinosaurs that we grew up watching aren't the ones that were
like the whole
around.
feathers thing.
Yeah, like that. So I think of like the super classic Jurassic Park lizard with tree trunk leg dinosaurs. Like that, I think is way cooler now that it isn't real. I don't know. It's a weird thing, and I think part of it is maybe just my appreciation as I've gotten older for Jurassic Park as like a novel. Because I really like some of the stuff that first one was going for. I don't like those newer movies, but the books are pretty good. And yeah, I feel like that type of game is, like I said, the fact that it's dinosaurs either makes it or breaks it for you, right?
100%.
Because it's like, I really, really wanted for Evolve to be a thing and for that game to come out and be awesome. And it never really got the shot that it should have because of the business practices around it. But I still want a game like that to happen. And I think I'm a little bit more interested in games that, like, I like the low stakes, the relatively low stakes of, like, what if you had to play a game where you were trapped in a zoo with a tiger? Because guess what? That's pretty much that's high. That's some high stakes on a personal level.
But the world is not at stake.
Yeah, like if you get eaten by the tiger, it's like whatever.
You die,
it's not,
tiger dies, end of story.
If the tiger dies, he dies.
If you die in the tiger, you die in real life. I have the tiger.
I did see, however, that Control has finally come to Steam, and I am very interested in playing that. I would, in fact, like to say, as if it's okay with you, I would like to get around to playing that one.
Sure, I'm down for that. Then I don't have to buy it.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, it's a... You know the deal behind that one too, right?
Yeah, it's a Remedy game. And I know all about the premise.
All of your... It's your... It might as well be the next Alan Wake. And, you know, long running in the Remedy tradition of, hey, you guys like Twin Peaks? Do you guys like Twin Peaks and The X-Files? And I'm like, yeah. Do you like third-person action games? And I'm like, yeah. And then there's this Star Wars MMO.
Have you found the components we discussed?
I shouldn't be interested, but I'm interested. I'm interested just enough to know that it's a bad idea.
Must be intact, or you'd be dead by now. Now all I
need is
the thrust control modules.
I know myself, and I know this game well enough to know that as soon as I tried to play it, I would probably hate it. Because it can't be as cool as what I want it to be.
I've played enough MMOs to know that, to start off with, I hate them as a rule. You know me. You know that I played a lot of World of Warcraft in my youth and in the period that followed.
Adolescence.
Sure. And even early adulthood.
Yeah.
And I played other games of a similar bent, like Warframe. And I don't know if we talked about this on the channel or not, but the more a game feels the need to try and monopolize my time, the less I want to play it.
I agree.
A big thing for me is being able to go through at my own pace. This is something we actually had an in-depth discussion about before we started New Vegas, as you may recall.
Yes,
I do. Being able to maintain my pace is a big thing for me. And if I want to play, that should be fine. If I don't want to play, that should also be fine. I don't need the game fucking trying to tell me that I should play this much or play this much. And if I'm playing too much, I get punished. And if I don't play enough, I get punished. Fuck off. Let me go at my pace.
Especially if you are paying, say, a subscription, and it's like you have that added layer of, well, I've literally invested my money and time into this game, so I have to keep investing it, or else it's a waste of the time and the money.
Mm-hmm. And you have to spend this much money to get what you want.
And I'm a person that, like, I'm not money-minded per se, but I know the value of $1 to the point that I'm very unwilling to spend almost $1 under any circumstances.
Mm-hmm. And I am someone who does not have a lot of money.
Right. So, I mean, I would say that's one of the things that, again, in comparison to your World of Warcraft, it's something that Final Fantasy XIV does really, really well, which is, yes, those incentives are there to keep you coming back and obviously they want you to subscribe and keep coming back that way. But the mood and overall vibe and understanding of 14 is much more like, listen, we get it. You're probably going to resubscribe when there's an update. Pay it then. The game will be here.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the mood and the vibe that you get from that game. Is like, we get it. This is a game that we want you to come back to. It's not a world that we want you to keep investing in literally every month. Even though they totally do want you to do that, they know that it's unreasonable to ask or accept that, so they don't.
And, like, that contrasts strongly from a viewpoint like Blizzard's, where you'll have some dickhead come up on a stage and try and tell you what you do and don't want.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be so different with Blizzard, and especially in terms of, like, their their single player stuff. And now I would be more willing to call them just out and out criminals. Like, Blizzard is, in my mind, no better than, if maybe one step down from, one step away from being full-on EA.
Mm-hmm.
It's like EA, Bethesda, and Blizzard are just evil companies.
Don't
like,
forget
just...
Activision and 2K.
Yeah, well, Activision and 2K for sure are also that. But my mind always goes to Blizzard and Bethesda and EA first when I think evil company. Because there's the difference between company and evil company. 2K is definitely evil company. Activision is just weird. They just suck. Tell you what, though.
Give me 1 second here. Okay. Continue?
I was gonna say sorry, I'm making a timestamp for editing. I was gonna say that some more positive notes would be talking more about the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
Which I recently played through all of Halo 3 with a friend, and we're now looking at ODST, which should be coming out very, very soon. And that game it's had some technical issues here and there, but in general, man, it's real good.
That sounds promising.
Just being able to play all of these games in one place has been a ton of fun. Being able to just run them like, okay, so I'm gonna give an example this way. Halo is really big on Easter eggs,
Right.
and just little things for you to find all the time. One of them is an Easter egg on a multiplayer map where if you load into a multiplayer map called High Ground and you immediately turn left, there's like a busted out bunker with some computers inside.
Uh-huh.
If you turn around and look at the bottom left of one of the computers and you stare at it, one of two things happens. One, every couple of minutes, the screen will flash and Cortana's creepy ass face will be on it. And it's this spooky thing of like, hey, when Halo 3 was first coming out and the multiplayer beta or whatever was open, and it was still kind of like, hey, what's going on with this game? That was feeding into the mystery of like, Cortana's going rampant, and she's creepy and giving us all these creepy messages. The other thing that will happen is that it will play some Halo music that's in all of the games as an Easter egg. And I was like, hey, I remember vividly how to do this. So what if I just opened up a private lobby and walked over there and tried it? And yep, still works.
Cool.
Still works exactly like it did on the 360. I'm a big fan of that being... I'm a big fan of the games existing in the same way that they had existed before.
That preservation of content is very important.
And what's more so is that Master Chief Collection, specifically, that option to be able to toggle back and forth between the new and old graphics in Halo 1 and 2 is super cool for me, because I don't like the new graphics very much. I think it kind of ruins the aesthetic in a lot of places.
Yeah.
But it, like, technically is also super impressive because it's just running 2 game engines simultaneously, and it works seamlessly.
It's fucked up, really.
It makes, like, every game remaster or remake should have that option. Every single one. Bar none. That should be the new thing.
Mm-hmm. You know what I just fucking remembered?
What's that?
If you don't get the room key from Jeannie May before you have her killed, the room becomes unobtainable.
That makes a lot of sense.
For these kinds of games, but that's okay, because her house is now vacant and I can go sleep there.
Well, she's not going to use it anymore.
Nah, I saw to that. You cannot sleep in an own bed. Fucking up yours.
You want to bet?
Why even have it there, then? Also,
Man.
It's not owned. The owner is dead.
Maybe in her will it says nobody can rent out this level of the hotel ever. I own it in perpetuity for all time. You can't come in.
Can't do it.
Disco Elysium is only 25. It's only 20% off, and that game has been out for over a year, I think. That sucks. I really want to play that game, but it's just too expensive. I'm sorry, everybody. Games are expensive. Games are very expensive.
Huh.
Most video games are not worth more than $20.
That's true.
Especially now.
Especially now. So here's a bed I can sleep in.
Yeah.
You cannot sleep while trespassing. Eat shit. You and your fucking excuses.
No, 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 no. Tell me about Remnant from the Ashes. What was your problem with that game?
Every single boss fight was terrible. Every single one. And, like, the lion's share of the boss fights was like, here's a regular enemy that has a bunch of health and summons ads. And that's the fight.
Oh. I'm not a fan of that.
I never finished it. I made it to the final boss, and I was like, man, this sucks. And then I didn't finish it.
And that, in turn, also sucks because I remember you plugging a lot of hours into it, and I was like, I would see that show up on my on the friends list, and I'd be like, I should play that. I should check that out and see if we could do that together. And then you just stop playing it, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, why? Oh, it turns out it's bad.
Turns out it's fucking terrible.
And that's all I needed to know.
And you know what? Here's a funny coincidence, is when it... Like, maybe the first or second day where I was playing that game, I had, like, probably the ugliest splitting headache I'd had in a long time. And I feel like that summarizes the experience perfectly.
Yeah, I had a similar experience with Resident Evil 6. I do want to play that game again. I think I need to...
I think you need to adjust your expectations.
No, I think I need to adjust the FOV. My expectations for that game were 0 and remain as such. But instead of the FOV slider in that game being set to 2, maybe it should be set to something else.
Maybe.
Here's a question I want to pose to you.
Yeah.
So, you and I would like to play the Yakuza games on stream, right?
Sure.
When we get to Like a Dragon, would you like to play that, or would you like me to play that?
I think it's too
Like
early to say.
Because I would say that we have time to figure it out. I wonder how you would like it, because on one hand, it's got the tone of the Yakuza series, and I think you would like a lot of that. But on the other hand, it is like a straight up RPG.
I've been trying to give my time to more of those, and I've been trying to see if I can adjust my tastes any.
There's a lot of really good stuff out there. But also, it takes place after 6, so you've got plenty of time to figure that out.
I hope that whole series comes to PC before long.
It pretty much almost all is now. Off the top of my head, there's Ishin?
Hey.
I think the samurai one that's not.
Hi there. I'm old lady Gibson, or so they tell me.
I don't think Dead Souls is.
And I'm pretty good at fixing things too. You might have noticed the very large building.
I want to play Dead Souls. I don't care if it
Helios
sucks.
1.
You can play it.
NCR
I'm not gonna
runs
play
the
that.
place, so it's off limits.
You can play
to
Dead
prospectors.
Souls. I'll watch Dead Souls. I think that game is awesome, like cutscene wise.
As it so
I'm
happens,
not too
I
interested
do have
in it,
some
though.
thrust modules, but they're expensive.
So Steam
500 cash
has
worth of expensive.
0, Kiwami, Kiwami 2, and Like a Dragon.
Pleasure doing business
So we're
with
still
you.
missing. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we're still missing 3, 4, 5, and 6, and Dead Souls and Ishin. Oh, what about Fist of the North Star?
I want to play that. When's it coming to PC? I've been wondering this for fucking ever.
I don't think that one might. I'm not sure if that one's coming to PC.
Do some digging while I have you here. You're in my clutches now. Find out.
I will be the jughead of this stream. Dude, at some point, talking about Jughead, I have to do a Riverdale spoiler cast on this channel at some point.
Oh, yeah?
What if I told you, you're aware of the Archie comics?
Yeah.
What if I told you that this adaptation of the Archie comics has cults, a serial killer, and at one point involves someone building a rocket ship to the moon.
That just sounds like Killer is Dead.
Riverdale might be the worst written show I've seen. But I love it. It is like some of the most inconsistent character writing ever.
Yeah.
Some of the most misplaced and badly handled drama ever. They have okay, some of the worst dialogue is definitely some, like, there is so much dialogue in Riverdale that people will say lines, and part of the reason I love the show is because I don't know what my reaction is going to be when I hear a line, because sometimes I say, "Oh, fuck off," out loud, and then sometimes I start laughing really hard because I'm like, that might be the coolest line anyone has ever said.
In excellent condition.
And I have no idea which one it's going to be until it's said.
I'll tell Jason that the great journey can begin.
But then also you get really dumb plot lines with, like,
we have everything we need to
people
launch the rockets,
being
Jason.
genetically predisposed to being serial killers, and the entire third season was literally about a Dungeons and Dragons wannabe that basically it was a board game that people were playing while they were high and sacrificing themselves, like blood sacrificing themselves for, and nobody could figure out what was going on except the one thing that everybody knew was that the game was being run by the Gargoyle King, who was just straight up like a Wendigo looking monster in the woods with like antlers for a crown. And it was just kids, like, it was very much built off of the whole, hey, if you play your Metallica record backwards, you might hear the devil era of people being worried about Dungeons & Dragons, right?
Uh-huh.
It's called Griffins and Gargoyles.
Good.
And it's run by the Gargoyle King. And
Where
it
does
is
the Griffin King come into it?
The Griffin King does not, but the Griffin Queen does.
Okay, there you go.
And just like, I'm sure I don't want to spoil anything in particular, but what's the way to put this? The idea is that the same board game has, like, this tabletop role-playing game has been being played by people since the 80s, and it's this dark secret because every time they play it, somebody dies. It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
All right, it's time to launch the rockets.
Launch them.
Should we launch them? Should we mash on the keys of the navigation console? Or should we just launch them?
I think mashing the keys is funnier because I know what happens already if we launch them. And I don't know what happens if you mash the keys.
I'm pretty sure the same thing happens.
Oh, well then just, yeah.
Well, would Clancy do it? This is a what would Clancy do moment.
Clancy would try and do it correctly. Like, he went through all of this effort. He doesn't care, but he's like, these people might as well go. All I gotta do is press this button, right? Okay.
Let's not mash the keys.
No, he would just press the button. Packed my bags last night, pre-flight. 0 hour, 9 a.m. There it goes. think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me around again to find.
I agree.
I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh no, no, no! Novak liked that.
That they did.
So what you just saw is the first thing that I thought about when a certain subplot in Riverdale shows up that's like, hey, this dude is building a rocket. It's just so... It's so out there.
Okay, now we can get... what you call it, a perk.
What do we got to choose from? Okay. What's toughness?
Just extra damage threshold, which is really good. It's what I was thinking of going for.
Well, I feel like, to me, it's either more intense training, which is probably the lame answer, or toughness.
I think toughness.
Toughness it is.
And with that, I think that makes a good capstone for us to close off on. Because we are past our end time now.
Yes. And, you know, like I've said before, we've made some pretty decent, progress here.
I would say so. We got 2 major quests done. One of which was even a main quest. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Very nice.
And with that, we can call it done.
Good job, everybody. And by everybody, I mean you.
Anything you'd like to say before we close off?
I have one thing to say, which is the Fist of the North Star game in Japanese is translated roughly as like a Fist of the North Star, which is awesome.
That is awesome.
And the English translation of the game is known as Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise, which sucks in comparison.
It does.
Like a Fist of the North Star is one of the coolest names I can think of. That's all. That's all I gotta say. Oh, and you can play as Kiryu in that game.
You can play as Kiryu in that game. I saw the pre-release trailer.
It's good. It's good stuff.
But is it coming to PC ever? Were you ever able to find anything on that?
I haven't found any definitive stuff. I might have to get back to you on that.
Well, we can open with it next time.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Same fist time, same fist channel.